Is great news. So I think we have got the screen going here. So let me just flick over. Just to give the background here, I'm going to bring you in really at the start of lockdown, and everyone in Ireland might remember we got that really beautiful spell of amazing good weather, which probably saved a lot of people's sanity in hindsight. So, now the beautiful, wonderful thing about this is we can just flick through these, and it also goes straight to the post on the date and the day and the comments on the Facebook page. So, without further ado, this is the 16th of August 2021. Now, there had been a fair bit of activity. I probably started having inverted commas manic episodes probably at the start of lockdown after I got that surgery and started to lose weight. So, ADHD medication is a very powerful stimulant, and obviously, with weight loss, it's going to impact on your tolerance. So, it was so gradual. And I was very sick for 8 weeks in the run up to getting that breast surgery, during which I died, and they did not have any blood in the bank to give me. So we'll go from there. So that was around March, April, May 2020. And we continued working, offering face to face service because you cannot work with anorexia. They were walking in dropping dead. And it was terrifying and heartbreaking. I mean, single handedly, we were doing the job of a full multidisciplinary team with no backup. We'll say nothing about the behavioural health eating disorder service towards our patients, their families, and the gaslighting, the medical horrific gaslighting that we gathered a lot of evidence of. So here is our little psychoanalytic dog. There are no bad dogs, as you can hear Tito's skipping around the background. Now, I'm going to kind of try and analyse these as I go along because at this stage I had no conscious filters of awareness, and we're starting to delve deep into psychoanalytically. So I was doing a lot of research on my own family, transgenerational trauma, on my mother's line. My mother has a cousin called Joe Hennessy. Sorry, Joe's married to my mum's cousin, Anita. Only to discover, in a nutshell, that there's a lot of Arthurs. We had an uncle, great uncle, my mum's uncle, Henry Arthur Gallery, fought in World War One. Battle of Ypres, same battle as Hitler. First gas atomic bomb. My uncle survived 2 months. His death certificate reads died from wounds, rifle wounds. Hitler himself was injured and woke up in an army hospital to be told the war was over and all his buddies were dead. So he went completely psychotic and went blind and swore revenge on all his enemies. Now that gas goes into our DNA. It's called epigenetics and transgenerational trauma. So no branches ever. So you can see my love for Jack Russell is coming through here. Now I have a collection we discovered, long lost cousins, Francis McKenna, Irish artists. And the significance of this painting will become clear later when you see some of the old family photographs we had. So my parents met at the Gael Talk, both Irish speakers, and Frances McBride and her husband, her married name McBride, they got married at the little church at the bottom of Mount Errigal where my mother met. We spent many family holidays. So there was an instant connection there. So Frances says that there is a name for this on the parapsychology spectrum where she channels from the environment around her and channels through her art, which is magnificent. I buy her paintings before they're dry. So I got, during my Manic Spending episodes, this is a little fairy off Amazon called Fannie, Fannie. Now, here is a hat. I was in America 30 years ago. The Mall of America make these. Now, the first thing that somebody said to me was, you do not use the word CUNT. So I got a matching pair made. One said CUNT and the other one CNTO. and the other one said CNT Company, because my friend Anthony, and we used to take great delight because in one of our little social experiments as it transpires, people don't actually look closely enough or read anything. Who knew? Now, where even is this? No idea, but I was starting to get into churches, France, all over the world, religions, theology, getting all your ducks in a row, Donald Duck Trump. Now, there was a big theme of hunted animals. This is actually, I've never had a tattoo, and this is going to be my first tattoo. But as we go through my Facebook wall, you can start to see hunted animals, animals that are being made extinct. We're starting to get into family crests, family histories. Why did I look at the Queen? That's interesting. Okay, so here we go. My dad's Frank Francis. The fuel light's on, Frank. We're all going to die. We're all going to die. Wait, wait. Oh, my mistake. That's the intercom light. So, this was another little purchase. Now, what sprung up over lockdown in an interesting way was the notion of recycling, upcycling. There's a little place called the Yard off the Ormer Road, and I got a lot of deliveries. Now, I posted this. These were two little snakes that we got for taters. Interestingly, the pink one is still perfectly intact. The blue one was, disintegrated into a million pieces a long time ago. But I bought this. I always wanted real horses. I didn't have room for them. So I got this delivered. And in my head, there was a big biblical theme coming through because my garden was the Garden of Eden. The Tree of Life, which is coming up, okay. One of my wee Christmas trees, my wee sister planted it. I bought the house off her. And in my mind, these were two horses of the apocalypse. And as long as we had those two horses, then the other two horses were decommissioned and they couldn't do their dastardly Luciferian business. So I actually posted this. There's a group on Facebook called Psychoanalysts or whatever, very snobby. And I was blown away by the interpretation. So we got a lot of theme of Adam and Eve, the male and female, the snakes, the creation, hell, the Garden of Eden. It was immensely satisfying. Now, here is where I started my research from my family being impacted by, this is Father Brendan Smith, prolific, worse than Jimmy Savile, brought the entire Catholic Church down. My dad's brother, Seamus, started off as a psychiatric nurse. He had 5 children. Susan died of a massive heart attack, I think. Anyway, very young in her 30s. And Seamus brought up his children, and we used to go down every year on holidays to Cork and to Kerry and Dingle. Very happy memories. And then Seamus became a priest. So it was big all over the news because he was ordained the same week as Father Brendan Smith. Died in jail. Jeffrey Epstein, anyone? And the whole, I suppose, newsworthiness of Seamus was that A, he has had all the sacraments in the Catholic Church, which no one has. And B, because he was married and had children. And he did say that priests should be allowed because obviously what he was able to bring to being a priest. And he loved a game of poker and we found a funny dirty joke and a wee drink and a wee whiskey. We smoke. So this is getting into ecology. B, I'm called B, Queen Bee, my nickname. More hunted animals. This is a very special birthday cakes. This was my sister's 50th, I think, and the lovely pina coladas out in the garden and more family crests. So I started to do research, and this is mind-blowing where our research has brought us to. Mind-blowing. Into transgenerational trauma, quantum entanglement among humans, past life regression, family constellation therapy. So we're starting to combine. We also had just got funded through the University of Ulster and Dr. Anne Moorhead. 5 years of evolving a research, physiological regulating medicine, the Guna method, for post-traumatic stress. And that was awarded to me. And we missed that funding and we missed that money because I wasn't allowed to access my emails because I was labelled as delusional and grandiose. And I was making it all up. No words. So this is a little book that I bought off Amazon. It's in complete Irish because the spelling is, my name is spelling so unique. My dad gave me the name, it means little lady. But it's the unique Irish spelling. It's B-R-I-Fada, D-I-Fada-N, and it means little lady. So I was entered, we were brought to Butlins. My brother used to try and push me off all the rides, abandon me, try and get rid of me. That's Freudian. The firstborn tries to murder the secondborn. And this evolved into a lot of what was labelled as my paranoid delusions, even though if you go to my child's medical records, I was never away from any because my brother, um, and that's what MK Ultra mind control on cartoons, Tom and Jerry, murder each other, place each other under trains. Guys, more to come on that podcast because I'm going to do a series podcast on MK Ultra and how they get your children from the minute they're born, actually conception or before. So we're starting out in the theme of boats, riots, Noah's Ark. This is starting to get into the troubles in Northern Ireland. Now, my dad, Frank Francis McKenna, was a forensic scientist. He started his career as a biologist over in Purtysburn Beaver, and he moved into forensic, not psychiatry, forensic science. He was a pathologist. He scraped up everybody, every trouble, every trauma, every bomb through the history of the troubles. He was a genius. He was the pioneer of forensic dentistry. Ironically, we're back to this apple from the Garden of Eden. So they just started to x-ray teeth, and my dad found an apple core. And they did publish a paper, and they did make a documentary about it, but they couldn't put my dad's name to it for security reasons. I mean, all my dad's notes went up. They bombed that forensic laboratory 3 times to get rid of all the evidence. He rebuilt it, and then they gave it up as a bad job. More bombs. I mean, it's hard to believe. One of the best documentaries, I think, is everybody's so focused on Bloody Sunday. There was Bloody Friday. It was 1972. I was able to track literally every single day, do what we call matrix birth re-imprinting, and my mum and us and all the traumatic births and what went on during her pregnancies. My goodness. Here we have more ships, Titanics. Now here we have, I will say again, we survived the potato famine, guys. Jesus of Nazareth, 40 days, 40 nights. Bobby Sands, Hunger Striker, 64 days, 64 nights, guys, respect. And some of the things he wrote were, quite profound. Everyone, Republican or otherwise, has their own particular role to play. And in this spiritual warfare, this was prophetic, what we're dealing with now and the Antichrist and the end of times and rapture. Our revenge will be the laughter of our children. Bobby Sands MP, poet, Gaelegor revolutionary, Irish Republican Army volunteer. Okay. So on that note, I'm just going to check whether this is all recorded. And guys, stay tuned because this is going to get a lot more interesting.